I know why a lot of people might find statistics really boring. I find that really exciting. So that's what gets me up in the morning, is thinking about, well, what can I do with this data and how can I find a pattern? My name is Dr. Chris Brown. I'm a research fellow in the Australian Rivers Institute and I work on marine and estuarine fisheries. The thing I enjoy about my role here at Australian Rivers Institute is doing research and getting to be creative and addressing problems and also using that creativity to help inform management of marine ecosystems. My current work looks at the effects of pollution to fisheries, particularly in Fiji and also other islands like the Solomon Islands. And what we're trying to do is look at how people can better manage their uses of the lands like forestry and farming to minimise the impacts of pollution that comes off that land and affects marine ecosystems. There's two important reasons that we need to use rigorous tools like statistics to analyse data. One is that there might be patterns in that data that are not apparent to the human eye, so using these powerful techniques we can sometimes find those hidden patterns, and that helps us make connections that we might not have seen, for instance connections between pollution coming off the land and changes in fish populations in the ocean. It's also really important because rigorous analysis helps us overcome our preconceived biases. Like, we might think that there's an effect of pollution on the fisheries because we see a lot of pollution, but it might not be the case. It might be actually that the fish stocks are going down just because there's too much fishing. So statistics helps us tease apart those different effects, and that's really good for decision makers because it lets them make the right decisions in the right places. The next exciting thing that I'll be working on is looking at how water flows in Northern Australia relate to prawn fisheries. And there's currently proposals to build dams for agriculture in Northern Australia, and that can stop the water coming down the rivers, and those floods that happen can be really important for supporting the prawn fishery. So we want to understand the connection between the prawn fishery and the floods, but we also want to help inform government about where they can best place their dams to minimise the effects of that loss of flows on the prawn fishery. So the next really exciting thing that I'm going to be doing in my work is trying to look at these trade-offs between different parts of our economy. So what's the trade-off between using water for farming versus allowing that water to go down the rivers where it will support fisheries? Some of the things that I enjoy about working here are getting to work internationally with large groups of people and address international problems. So not only do I work on fisheries in Australia, but I'm also asking questions about how people overseas can manage their fisheries, like in Fiji. The reason that I'm a marine scientist working in the Australian Rivers Institute is that a lot of interdisciplinary science happens here. And so through my work on pollution, I'm really interested in the connections between the land and the sea and how pollution and water can come down rivers and goes into the ocean, and that affects the ecosystems there. So that explains why I'm a marine scientist working in a Rivers Institute, because a lot of what our institute does is really connecting things from the land all the way to the sea.